Hello everybody, welcome back to Ren Gaming. Right, I'm going to show you today how to fit the SP120s onto the H105. Now this is going to be the same for any of Corsair products, including the H80, 60, 75, 90s, the smaller ones. Except on the 120 radiators, the fans go next to each other. I'm only going to set these up in pull because there's not enough room in my case for push-pull. In fact, there might not be enough room in there to have the fans mounted on the inside, and I might have to mount them on the top, which is cool because there's room on the I've got an NZXT 630 Phantom, so there is definitely room. But I've got the important things. I have a cup of coffee because it's quite early. Again, excuse my voice, I've not been very well this week. So let's see, bag of screws. There is an instruction manual included in the H105 should you feel you need to do it. It does look quite comprehensive actually. It seems to have everything, including the warranty, which I'm throwing on the floor. There we go. So if you think you should need it, it shows it here, the 8 long screws, 8 short screws and washers. Simples. Right, so let's go. See what we've got in here. We only need the long screws. Does appear to be more washers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So there is 18. So maybe we do put washers on. You see, I am going to have a look at the instruction book to see what Corsair say. I mean, normally you would put a washer between them, so. It does not say. 8. It does not say. So I'm going to use them. It's better to be safe than sorry. So we'll pop them on. Do them first. It saves fucking around with them later when you got your hands full. So I'm having it suck air from the case and exhausting out the top. Now there are arrows on these which show the directions. It is an arrow there pointing out and an arrow showing the direction, but with these Corsair ones the blue is the way it sucks, so easy peasy. And we need it so you're not going to see the fan cable, so it's going to have to go. There you go, buddy. Sorry, I stopped it because I knocked all my fittings on the floor. So the same anytime you're doing these things up. One screw in one corner, one screw in the opposite corner. Lovely. You don't have to do these up very tight. You only have to do them. You only really have to do them at finger tight. Because of the rubber on them, you can keep doing them up for what seems like forever. So you only need to squeeze them tight, you don't need to go crazy. Excuse the shadows on the desk. And of course this isn't the easiest way of doing it, I'm kind of trying to stay out of the way of the camera. So just so they're tight on the washer, but they're not squeezing down too much. Simple. Quick and easy as that. Again, excuse me sniffing. So this one's going to go exactly the same. So one in that corner. Just to make sure it's lined up. I always do it up a few turns, and then one in the other corner. As I said before, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this in a pull configuration into the Phantom, because it says there's only 55mm clearance, but I did some measurement and I think it will fit, because of the extra thickness on the radiator on these. So again, just tighten them up, don't go crazy. Just touch, and there we go. Like I say, because of these, it feels like you can do these up forever, and you probably could, but you'd end up snapping something. So there we go. That's the, get that out. That's the H105 with a couple of SP120 quiet editions attached. I'm now going to film myself trying to get them in the rig, which is going to be the fun bit. Right. It's going to be mighty tight, but I think it will fit, which is a relief. I might have to shimmy it down a bit, but right. I'm going to turn this camera off, strip this fucking thing of bits, and start again. It's very, very fucking tight. You have to be a bit creative with your 8 power, the 8-phase power to the motherboard here. Sorry about the camera here, because it just about touches the bottom of the fan. It's not going to affect the fan at all, but yeah, everything else, it just clears the top of the motherboard, doesn't touch any of the caps along the top. I don't know if you can see in there. Wowzer, that's tight, but it does fit. So of course, if you pop out the top drive bay, then you could mount the radiator in there and it wouldn't be an issue. But anyway, there you go. We're still fitting the H105. I'm just going to show you, I've taken the H80 off. It did fit in the top, it was a squeeze, but these products you will need. This is the Arctic Clean Thermal Surface Purifier, and this is the thermal material remover. Now you put a drop of this onto your CPU first, give it a couple of minutes, or 30 seconds is enough, and clean it. Make sure it's very, very clean. So we put a drop on, because if it isn't, things aren't going to work properly, things are going to get hot. Now you have to bear in mind, this surface is the one that pulls the heat from the top of this into the cooler, so if it isn't perfectly clean and you haven't done it right, you're not going to get the best temps, and if you're overclocking, then obviously you need it. So you give it a couple of seconds. I've already done it once on here. Now I'm using kitchen cloth, which is apparently anti-static. So it's clean. Then onto the thermal surface purifier. Now what this does is this prepares the surface to take the new paste. Now it's up to you what you use. There's loads of different pastes around. I like the Arctic Silver stuff, but for the sake of this build, I am going to use the Corsair paste because I'm interested to see how well it performs. There you go, it's as easy as that really. The Corsair paste is already pre-applied. Now there does seem to be more on there than I would normally put on, but we'll pop it on and we'll see. This is the mounting bracket for Intel, and it's toolless apparently. These small pins here push inside like that, and it should, he says, pop through the holes. May have to do a little bit of wangling. Yeah, so installing the back plate for the H105. Pretty damn simple. There's going to be a cut when we come back I'll flip it around and I'll do the front. If we put our fingers on the back plate to stop it popping off, they should screw in. And they do, which is a relief. If at any time my head is in the shot, I apologise. Now, general rule of thumb with these things is you want to do them up finger tight. I will check the instruction booklet just in case Corsair have had a change of ways, but you don't need to do them up tight, because when you put the actual bolts on that, or the fixings on that hold it in, they take up any slack. And I've seen a lot of people talk on forums about, especially with the H80i, when they're putting it in, it's not tight, but once you get to the final, these bits, hope you can see that, they generally pull them tight. If they don't, you've done something wrong, but you can't really do anything wrong with this one. And there we go, that was a pain in the arse. Well, it's not a pain in the arse, it's me being cack-handed. As you can see, it's loose, same as the H80, so no doubt when I do it up tight in a second, everything will be happy. So I'm going to do another cut, bear with me, and I'll pop back in just a sec. Right, I've just popped the grey ring out. I'll show you how to do it in just a sec, and we're going to put a blue one in since we've got the blue fan. And obviously this only fits one way, so the krypton factor, and it only fits that way. Easy as that. Now when you want to take it back out, you pop a screwdriver in. Simples. So, excuse me, I'll just come back round. So it's generally simple as popping it on, and it is, which is nice. So, although being such a big radiator, it doesn't leave much room for doing standoffs up. Now, same as always, opposite corners. This would probably be easier if I could actually see what I was doing. And I had the actual nut the right way around, of course. Must be really riveting viewing, you know, watching me do screws up. It's still. This is a nice feature of the Corsair series as well. The fact you can turn the tubes. Now they're on these wiggly mounts, look. So it means if it isn't quite in the right orientation, you can turn it around. Now with these ones, you do them up until they are just firm. Again, you don't go crazy. I am going to pop a Phillips screwdriver in there just to make sure. But you, excuse my face, but you don't actually have to. So it's just a couple of turns, not even that, just to be sure. Easy as that, mounted, and I think that looks rather nice as well. the only thing left to do is to plug in the power. Now normally you would plug it in up here, but me being a mug, I've got the radiator, and it was such a pain to get this radiator in. Now I am going to stress again the fact that this is a 38mm thick radiator and the fans are 25mm thick. If you don't have that much clearance at the top of your case, you're going to have a hell of a job getting it in. Now the only issue I found is, I don't know if you can see it, just in this top corner where the 8-pin comes down for the motherboard. I had to be a little bit, what's the word, enterprising, but yeah, I got it to fit. Of course what you could do is take, as I said before, take out the top hard drive cable and move it along. Fit it the other way around so the tubes come straight down. Bosh, easy, lovely. Yeah, so the last thing to do is to plug in the fan header, which I will route, well, if you're American, properly, but it goes in there. There you go, easy as that. I'll show you it running in just a tick. I'm just flicking back to getting everything in because I haven't actually powered it up yet. I mean, what I was hoping to do was use these fans as pull, and then these fans up top sucking through, because I always had the 200mm extractors on top anyway. The trouble is this one's fine, this one spins. This one was fouling on the screw and washer combo that holds the radiator on, so I've made, I don't know if you can see, I've made some very small standoffs. There we go. Little tiny plastic standoffs that just raise it enough so it doesn't foul, and of course you have to be careful because the top won't fit on. But there you go. Yeah, and there we go, all installed. I've also taken them horrible white cables out, replaced everything with black, and I'm gonna or I've started braiding my own blue ones, but as you can see I've run out and I've got a normal 6 on there at the moment, and the 24 is still black, but it's running lovely. You can probably hear it. That's about as quiet as I can get it without going into the motherboard and changing things. There's the Dominator Platinum. Now this isn't the stuff I showed on the other video. This is 16 gig kit, but it's got those light bars in, and they are lovely. There you go.